The veil between our world and the next is thin, fragile. Sometimes it rips. And when that happens, there are echoes, remnants of things unseen that linger in the dark corners of our reality. Tonight we delve into 3 true stories of terror. 3 chilling accounts that serve as grim reminders that some things are better left undisturbed. Are you brave enough to peer into the abyss? A lone traveller, weary from the road, checks into a roadside motel long after midnight. The flickering neon sign casts an unsettling glow on the rain-slicked asphalt. He's given the key to room 104. It seems like an ordinary room at first glance. But something feels off. The air is heavy, thick with an unseen presence. As he tries to sleep, he hears whispers, soft murmurs that seem to emanate from the walls themselves. He dismisses them as the ramblings of an exhausted mind. But then the nightmares begin. Vivid, grotesque dreams plague his sleep, each more terrifying than the last. He wakes up in a cold sweat, his heart pounding in his chest. He tries to shake off the feeling of dread that's settling over him, but it's no use. He can feel that he's not alone. Days turn into sleepless nights. The whispers intensify, becoming chilling voices. He sees fleeting shadows in the corner of his eye. Objects move on their own. He reports these strange occurrences to the motel manager, but his concerns are met with dismissive shrugs. Desperate for answers, he researches the history of the motel. His blood runs cold when he stumbles upon an old newspaper article detailing a gruesome murder that took place in his very room, room 104. A young woman brutally slain by an unknown assailant. Her spirit, it seems, never found peace. Armed with this knowledge, he tries to reason with the entity. He speaks to the empty room, acknowledging her pain and promising to help her find peace. But his words are met with icy silence. The air grows colder, the oppressive presence more palpable. He knows he must escape. He packs his belongings, his hands trembling with fear. As he reaches for the doorknob, he feels a cold hand grip his wrist. Turning slowly, he comes face to face with the apparition of the murdered woman. Her eyes, filled with rage and sorrow, bore into his soul. He screams, ripping his hand away and fleeing into the night. He never returns to room 104, forever haunted by the chilling encounter. The motel still stands, a grim testament to the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of the ordinary. Deep in the heart of the sprawling wilderness, a group of friends embark on a weekend camping trip, eager to escape the confines of their everyday lives. Laughter echoes through the ancient trees as they set up camp, their backpacks filled with supplies and their spirits high with anticipation. As dusk descends, casting long, eerie shadows across the forest floor, they gather around a crackling campfire, sharing stories and jokes. But as the flames die down and darkness envelops the woods, a sense of unease settles upon them. They are not alone. Strange sounds emanate from the darkness beyond the firelight. Rustling leaves, snapping twigs and guttural growls that send shivers down their spines. They try to convince themselves it's just nocturnal animals, but deep down a primal fear takes root. One by one, they retreat to their tents, hoping to find solace in sleep. But the feeling of being watched intensifies. One member of the group, a young woman named Sarah, is particularly unnerved. She can't shake off the feeling that something sinister is lurking just beyond the thin fabric of her tent. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierces the night. The others scramble out of their tents, their hearts pounding in their chests. They find Sarah cowering in the corner of her tent, her eyes wide with terror, pointing a trembling finger at the entrance. There, standing silently in the entrance, is a tall, shadowy figure. Its eyes, glowing an eerie red in the darkness, seem to pierce through their very souls. Panic surges through the group. They stumble back in terror, desperate to escape the nightmare unfolding before them. They scramble to gather their belongings, their movements clumsy and frantic. But the entity moves with unnatural speed, its long, shadowy arms reaching out to grab them. They scatter in different directions, their screams echoing through the silent woods. The friends become separated in the chaos. They run blindly through the darkness, their lungs burning, their hearts pounding against their ribs. The sounds of their pursuers' heavy footsteps and guttural growls echo behind them, urging them onward. One by one they are hunted down. Some manage to escape the creature's grasp, finding their way back to civilization, forever scarred by the experience. But Sarah is not so lucky. She stumbles and falls, her ankle twisting beneath her. As the creature descends upon her, its glowing eyes burning into her soul, Sarah lets out a final, desperate scream. The scream is cut short, swallowed by the darkness. Her friends, their faces etched with horror and guilt, vow to never speak of that night again. They return to their lives, forever changed by the encounter. The woods hold a dark secret, a malevolent entity that preys on those who dare to venture too deep. And Sarah? She's never seen again. Chapter 3. The Ghost of the Abandoned Asylum. In the desolate outskirts of a forgotten town, shrouded in an eerie silence, stands an abandoned asylum. Its crumbling walls and vacant windows stand as haunting reminders of a troubled past, whispering tales of suffering and despair. It is a place where darkness lingers, where the veil between the living and the dead wears thin. A group of urban explorers drawn to the allure of the unknown decide to venture into the asylum's depths. Their cameras and flashlights, their only weapons against the encroaching darkness. They are eager to document its decay, to capture the remnants of its haunting history. As they step inside, the air grows heavy with the weight of untold suffering. The stench of decay assaults their nostrils, a pungent mix of mildew, rust, and something vaguely metallic. The silence is deafening, broken only by the sound of their own footsteps echoing through the long, empty corridors. They wander through the derelict building, their cameras clicking, documenting the remnants of a bygone era. Rusted gurneys, decaying mattresses, and scribbled messages on the walls, left behind by former patients, their words a chilling testament to their torment. As they delve deeper into the asylum's bowels, the air grows colder, and a sense of unease settles upon them. They begin to hear things, faint whispers, disembodied voices, and the sound of footsteps following them, always just out of sight. They press on, their curiosity outweighing their fear. They enter a room that was once used for electroshock therapy, the rusted machinery still standing as a grim reminder of the horrors that unfolded within those walls. As they are filming, the camera malfunctions, its lens suddenly clouded with an unnatural mist. When the mist clears, they see an apparition standing behind them, a ghostly figure in a tattered hospital gown, its face contorted in a silent scream. Terror grips them. They stumble back, dropping their equipment, their hearts pounding against their ribs. The apparition vanishes as quickly as it appeared, leaving behind a chilling silence that amplifies their fear. They flee the asylum, their minds racing, their senses overwhelmed by the experience. They vow never to return, forever haunted by the ghostly encounter. The abandoned asylum stands as a testament to the horrors of the past, a place where the tormented souls of the forgotten still wander, seeking solace or perhaps revenge. Outro, lock your doors, turn on the lights, and try to forget the stories you've just heard. But remember, the darkness is always listening. It lurks in the shadows, waiting for its moment to seep into your reality. Until next time, sleep tight, if you can.